Hello, good morning. Well, at least it's morning for me where I'm at right now. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I was prompted to come on and just do a free flow reading because there's just been a lot of stuff, a lot of messages bubbling up, and they're not just for me. So I will do that in just a moment. The energy from this past full moon in Aries, I am still feeling. I don't know about any of you, but I have been waking up around 5:30 each morning since the full moon. Actually, probably a few days before that, and that is so not like me. I'm awake, wide awake, before the sun even rises. And it's almost as if throughout the entire day, I have this IV caffeine drip, which I'm not even drinking coffee or caffeine. So it's just this extra energy that I've been getting. Now, other people I've been talking to have the opposite effect where they are feeling exhausted, tired, and probably processing a lot of emotions, grief, things that are coming up from the energetics to be made conscious, to be healed. So wherever you are on your journey, you're most likely feeling different or really feeling a lot of energies and a lot of other people's energies. Our sensitivities are heightened. Like, I feel like the rest of October and November and probably December too, we're going to be ultra energetically sensitive, especially for those of you who are already aware of how sensitive you are to energies, natural energies, artificial energies, other people's energies. So you flow with each and every energy. They are meant to assist and guide us and take us through an emotional journey, which then turns into a physical journey. I also want to point out my little faux pas in some of my zodiac readings from this past week, where I was talking about the mutable signs being affected the most through through that full moon energy. And my mistake, I didn't even read for the mutable signs. I was looking at my notes. I was rushing, basically. I'll be honest. I am human too. So I also suffer from the human condition. And part of my life lessons have been to slow down, especially this year, and I'm very aware of it. So anytime I'm not and I'm going too fast, there's always a mistake that I make, and then it's like, oh, I was going too fast. But I do want to thank everybody who did point that out to me. I found it humorous that it was only the Capricorns that pointed it out to me, which is so in alignment with the Capricorn archetype, and I'm grateful. Thank you, everybody, and I apologize for that faux pas, that mistake that I made. Although there are no mistakes or accidents, so whatever you get out of that for you is fine. I am not an astrologer. I am studying astrology. I am in astrology class. I find it extremely helpful and fascinating. And one of the things about astrology, I'm not going to actually even talk about any of the transits right now, because as over the years of really getting in depth and fixated on astrology myself, I've learned and I've been guided in and out of it, because I also want to stay connected to my feminine energy, my intuition, which I do with the cards and the readings and feeling energy through day to day. I began to study astrology because that helped my logical mind, my masculine side of my energy, to connect to the feminine and have more logical reasonings for certain things I was experiencing, sensing, feeling. However, when I became a little too obsessed or fixated with it, I found living day to day, just constantly looking at every situation and incident as a planetary transit instead of living life. So that's part of my journey, and I still love astrology. I'm still studying astrology, but I'm learning to balance the two. I'm learning to balance living and flowing with life and learning and understanding a deeper portion of the map that we have to life, which would be astrology for me. That's definitely one of my maps, but I can't walk through life with the map. I mean, I could, but then I'm not actually experiencing life the way it's intended for me to experience. So that's that. I also wanted to talk about really quickly just some of the things that have been I've been experiencing, and some of my friends also. I find this funny as well and interesting. So I am a Scorpio sun, and I have a good dear friend who is a Taurus sun. And through the entire 18-month transit of the North and South Node being in Taurus and Scorpio, we have been experiencing either the same polarity, or one day she'll be one way and another day I'll be some way. And mostly what we're noticing is, like, when we wake up in the morning, there are certain times where we're kind of like walking around, what do I do? What am I doing today? What do I feel is the first thing to do today? It's almost like we're kind of confused and end up pacing back and forth in our house, like, oh, I should do this, but I'm not feeling like that's the most important, so maybe I'll do this, and it can be really scattered. I don't know if any of you are experiencing that, but I find it funny now. It wasn't funny in the beginning. It was a little frustrating because, again, our masculine energy was very dominant and just like, there's things you need to do, make a list and all of that. But, you know, throw your lists out the window, unless they're extremely important. Sleep patterns, like I was mentioning, are completely changing. Let's just say that. Changing for many people. Many people are waking up around 3:30 in the morning. That's been kind of my jam for the last 4 or 5 years. I wake up and it's usually 3:33. And I have to tell you, first of all, I don't believe there are any coincidences or accidents in life. I was born at 3:33 in the morning. So waking up at 3:33 every single night for the last 4 years has just become a norm for me. But that actually stopped a few weeks ago, and it opened up for other people. A lot of other people I keep hearing, I'm waking up between 3 and 3:30, and I'm like, yep, that sounds about right. Now I'm sleeping through the night. However, I wake up at 5:30 in the morning before the sun's even rising. Totally not me. Our circadian rhythms are kind of being adjusted, I suppose, or we're just really reacting to certain energies, which is the next thing I want to talk about, is the Schumann Resonance. For anybody that's aware of what the Schumann Resonance is, there is a chart. There's actually even an app now that we can go in and gauge the energy that is coming from the earth. So we have energies from the planet and cosmic energies and rays coming in. It's like a toroidal field. And then the energy from the earth emits back out. We are affected by all. And so for the last week or more, the Schumann resonance has laid sort of in a dormant phase at about 7 hertz, which is its natural frequency for the earth. Well, yesterday we had a bit of a spike, and last night some more activity. And when I looked this morning before I clicked this video, we're at 26 hertz as our maximum spike. So again, we have physical body reactions to the earth spiking energy, as well as the sun. We've had a lot of solar flares, especially in the last few days. For any of you who had been following me on Facebook, I've been talking about the sun, the solar flares, the CMEs, and the Schumann resonance for the past 2-3 years now. These are things that I keep track of on a regular basis to, first of all, for my own understanding, but also to kind of correlate with other people who are working in energy, Reiki practitioners and others. It's nice when we can kind of gauge the energies that we're working with. So with that said, when we're experiencing big shifts and changes in energy, the frequency rising, that changes our personal energy field as well as the energy field around the earth. And we can experience a lot of body changes, aches and pains, and even getting sick. But other interesting things that happen within the physical body as the body adjusts to new energetic frequencies. And I do have I have many blogs written on my website if anybody wants to read about that things that I've written.
you can check that out. That information is in the description box below, as well as all of my information. I've been having a lot of technical issues lately. Now, this has always been my challenge, and well, I won't say always. This has been my challenge over the last 3 or 4 years now. And funny enough, I used to work in technology before this. So before I jumped out of my old self, old profession, old way. And then all of a sudden, you know, as if you're listening to me, as we all know, when we go through the awakening process, we start to remove ourselves from the things that just aren't working for us anymore. But we do develop a lot of skills and traits that we hope to bring into this next phase of our life. So off and on, I get issues with technology, and it's really funny because it reminds me of my childhood. My father also, he was an art director, and I worked in printing right out of high school, and it was 1990 when computers, a lot of industries, but specifically that industry became computerized. I had also gone to college for photography, and we were still pan developing. Then, you know, suddenly film was non-existent. So that whole, you know, educational process will go out the window. Not necessarily, but anyway, where was I getting with that? Oh, what it was bringing up for me, the technology issues, especially when I have things that I really want to do. I have inspired, creative ideas, and then, you know, my technology is like, no, that's not going to work. It brings up this hopelessness that I felt as a child in certain situations, this powerlessness. Like, I'm trying, but it's just not working, and I've asked for help. I haven't received it quite yet. But anyway, needless to say, I am still working on some glitches within technology, mostly within social media, Instagram. I did finally figure out my Facebook and got that linked back to my website, so that should be working again. But I also want to just throw out how grateful I truly am for all of you who have subscribed to this channel, and all of the beautiful comments and outpours. I am so truly grateful for all of you. My main goal right now, my first goal, is to reach to 1,000 subscribers so that I can do live, so we can engage back and forth. I want you guys to get to know who I am truly. I want to be authentic and transparent to all of you, so that you get to understand who the reader is, who the person, the human being is behind the readings. And I also want to create a nice, safe environment for all of us to share our experiences, our emotions, and what we're going through. We need to stick together here. Things are changing extremely fast right now on this planet for everybody. And the more and more of us that can collectively come together, even if we don't share the exact same view on life or what's going on, with the main sensation of harmony, peace, love, balance, and just being able to express what we're experiencing right now, because things are really, really wild. And with that said, I want to just do a free flow reading. No main topic here, but there's a lot of energy running through me right now, and a lot of messages coming through. And whenever I get these sensations, it's time to just start doing some reading. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's see what wants to come through. We're already going to the big cards. I hope that everybody is doing well. And if you are experiencing some extreme challenges right now, please know I just came through a doozy of one, and I wasn't able to even talk about it or come on camera at all. It was very, very deep, very painful and traumatic for me, within my family dynamic and home dynamic even. So it really hit home, basically. what I'm trying to say is whatever you're going through, it is temporary. It is meant to put you on your path to the next chapter in your life. So things aren't always as they appear to be. Try to look for the deeper message in it. Where is it pulling you back? Ask yourself, when was the first time I ever felt this feeling I'm feeling? And don't let your logical mind get in the way. Allow the sensations, allow your heart to come online and truly show you a pattern that's developed since childhood. Okay. Two of chalices, five of chalices. So we're looking at love loss, loss of a loved one, loss of someone that we were deeply connected to. I feel like either people are experiencing this now or the emotions are coming back up as if you're experiencing it all over again. Loss, sadness, grief. And the Hanging Man. Seven of crystals. So, many are currently in the Hanging Man position where the universe, this isn't like the Hermit where we purposely put ourselves in isolation to kind of get away, like pull back. This is when the universe is like, no, you need a timeout. So things around you that maybe you had planned to do suddenly aren't working out for you. People that you maybe had planned to meet up with suddenly have other plans, and you're left hanging. You're left in the Hanging Man for a purpose, to process this grief, to process this sadness, to go deeper. When was the first time I felt this feeling? This is where the universe is guiding you to. Back to the root, your childhood. When we pull weeds, if you don't get the root out, it's going to continue to grow back. So get to the root, not the current situation, but you and within your root, your childhood. Bottom of the deck. So this overall spread is Seven of crystals. Feeling really defeated. Like, no matter what I do, things just are not going my way. And I'm not sure what to do. This is kind of like despair and just in conflict with self and with others. Feeling really left out of situations. This could also be FOMO, fear of missing out because of being in the Hangman. We sense, or we just think other people are out there engaging with each other, having a good time, doing interesting things, and here I am all alone. Sage of crystals. We are learning more about our path right now and the choices, decisions, things that we've done through life that have gotten us to where we are right now. Let's get a little deeper into this. We have the waiting game. It's been coming out a lot in the readings lately. The waiting game is when intuition. The waiting game is when things in our life just become chaotic and uncertain, and maybe there's been a breakup or a loss of somebody. Maybe there's been conflict with another. And we're left waiting around for either a new opportunity, waiting around for the other person to come around and resolve the situation. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Waiting for the other person to come around and resolve the situation, which may happen. But what I'm here to tell you with the waiting game is that you're also waiting on yourself. There's something within you that you're meant to see, that you're still focusing on the other person or the other situation and not taking it inward, not doing a deep dive inward to really see, where is this, what is this showing me? What pattern, what energy is still within me, in my subconscious, in my blind spot that I don't see, that I need to see from this experience? Where is this taking me? All the way back to childhood. When you do that inner child work and stop waiting on the outside world to change for you, and you make those changes within yourself, lo and behold, you will see changes happen in your outside world. Not necessarily, I'm not going to say that this particular person or situation is what's going to come back around. It could be something that is much more in alignment for you. Intuition. We want to connect to our feminine energy, not gender, our energy, our receptivity and intuition. Also our caring and our compassionate energy, but really we want to be able to feel and sense what is happening and what's going on at a much deeper level as well. I know from experience myself, in my past, I had escaped from feeling my feelings for a very long time myself. And when it became really difficult, I developed certain addiction patterns that worked for me for a short period of time until they didn't, and then I had just added that to my baggage of crap that I had to clear out from me. So what I'm trying to say is, when feelings come up, allow yourself to feel. That is your intuitive senses. That is your internal navigational system that will take you, give you the information you need. It will lead you into the place that your higher self, the universe, is trying to guide you to see, to make that unconscious part of yourself conscious. Okay, let's keep going. But I know, because I'm a human too, a lot of times we get fixated on what happened, what was said, what happened, and we're like stuck there. And it's okay to kind of be there for a little bit, but eventually you've got to break out of it and see it from a higher perspective. See it from the universal perspective. What is this showing you? What is this teaching me? And when we do this, when we allow ourselves to sit still the mind, maybe go into, if you practice meditation, that would be helpful, but just going out into nature, somewhere alone, peaceful, quiet, with no distractions, nothing else going on but you with you. That is when you're going to be victoriously successful in breaking yourself free from the cage of limitation, of just staying stuck in what has happened or what's been said, because there's so much more expansive energy involved here than just that. Solar plexus. So this energy is bringing the solar plexus online here. Our solar plexus governs our ability to be confident in ourselves, to be in control of our lives. It relates to our motivation and our willpower and our vitality. So when the solar plexus is in balance, we feel confident, we feel warmth and determination, we're self-disciplined, we're reliable, and we have a positive sense of self. When the solar plexus is out of balance, our self-esteem, we have low self-esteem, lack of confidence, fear rises up, we have loss of control, and possibly digestive issues. So the solar plexus is working its way into becoming more balanced. If you have the ability to light a candle or be around a fire, have a bonfire, that really kind of helps to bring up the solar plexus energies. Reach out to friends, socialize a little bit more if you can. Get some fresh air and nature as well. Let's see what else wants to come through. Fear. What else came up this morning for me? Another little panicky, like a moment, a little tinge of fear of lack of money, being able to pay the bills in the future. It's not a current situation. It's a pattern for me and my family for sure. It's like, if we don't have this giant nest egg, it's like, oh my God, how am I gonna? I'm working on clearing that for myself, but within the collective is what I'm feeling. This fear of not being financially secure and stable. And that's becoming a very big reality for many right now. And that will become more and more of a fear. It's designed to, over the course of this next year or two, within especially the United States of America, as it's going through its Pluto return. We're going to go through financial hardships at times, not just personally, but bigger organizations and structures as well. Excuse me. I don't know why that came up, but maybe somebody resonates with that. I'm sure a lot of people can resonate with that one right now. Oh, my eye's watering. It's so funny because I felt this free flow, and as I'm reading cards, the energy's ebbing and flowing so much right now. I'm feeling that within the collective. It's almost as if we have our high highs and our low lows. It's a big roller coaster ride right now. Okay, we have the Chariot and the Six of Voices. So what is moving forward collectively within all of us is our higher self. Our higher self is connecting to us. It's coming down. This is spirit. This is universe, God, whatever you want to call the energy linked to our higher self, the stars, the cosmos, is showing our human self where we're at, the patterns that we have, why we've done what we've done, and giving us this opportunity, this beautiful opportunity to move through it and past it into the next chapter of life. The Chariot. This is still having the will and the drive to continue, to not give up on life. I did a video on that the other day because universe has been showing me over and over and over again. When I was about to quit, I had another big charge in my solar plexus to give it one more try on YouTube. Give it one more try. So I did, and lo and behold, it started to grow. So I had lessons to learn through my patience, my discernment, and things, part of my journey. And I almost quit. I gave up a few times. I gave up in like the last 2 or 3 years, multiple times. But this time it's like, no, there were certain things I had to learn. So here's the thing. We're learning a lot about ourselves. And once we finally do, maybe go back and try something you had tried in the past that didn't work out for you. Maybe the timing was off. Maybe there was something you were missing. Try not to go back into something in the same energy that you had before, because that's just trying to do the same thing over and over again the same way, expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity, right? We don't want to do that. We want to come from a place of receiving. We want to come up from a place of believing, trust, and faith in the process that we do not have control over a lot of things that happen. But the universe and the energy will show us what choices we have. We have options and choices. Instead of trying to manipulate and control everything, open yourself up to receiving what the options and choices are for you. And then use your discernment, use your intuition to decide which feels right for you. Don't think about it. Don't ask other people, what do you think? Because then you're just going to get their perception of your life path. You don't want somebody else to like dictate your life path for you, do you? I'm getting out of that waiting game. Trust me, I know all about the waiting game. I spent years in the waiting game. And then when you come at it and you're like, oh my God, that's all it was? It was me the whole time. It was me. I was waiting for me. 10 of Materials. With the 5 of Chalices and the intuition. So this speaks about our community and our family, our legacy. Allow everything that surrounds you that feels stable and secure, and that it is part of your tribe, to assist you through the pain of loss, because we want to go through it. We can't bypass these feelings. We humans don't like to feel bad. We do everything we can not to feel these feelings. We've done it our whole lives. This is the time to go through the fire and rise like the phoenix out of the ashes, right? We got to go through the feelings. Feel it to heal it. Feel it, but go deep. Go deep as you can. Go back to that child that did not get the emotional support and love that it needed when it had that very first experience. You have that inner child within you. It is still the same age that it was when it had an experience that it could not process emotionally all the way. We store these things in our subconscious, in our energy field. We create, manifest from that. So that's what the universe is doing for us all right now. It's helping us unpack, unlayer, declutter, defrag a lot of this childhood stuff. Bring on all our parts back into wholeness. All of our parts. We have the inner child. I know I speak about this a lot, but it is so true. And this is what's happening the rest of this year. We have our inner child, which has not always been supported and loved, even though maybe our parents loved us and people care, but there's a lot of unconsciousness going on, especially when we were children, to our emotional needs and things like that. So every human on the planet, this is how it is, has some emotional trauma, wounds, pains from childhood that are still stored in their emotional body, in the subconscious mind. This is where some of these irrational fears come up sometimes for people. It seems irrational because it's in your blind spot. Ooh, Queen of Emotions on the bottom. Knight of Emotions, beautiful. So we're all talking about really getting in touch with our feelings and our emotions deeply, and then expressing that. Once we come out of the hangman position, or even through the hangman position, talk out loud to yourself. Write it down. Get it out. Express it, because then it's not stuck in a feedback loop in the mind where it can drive you crazy, literally. You'll be surprised if you even just talk out loud to yourself. You can actually answer some of your things. And when you write it, it's received differently by you. This is also be open to receiving emotional support from others as well. And below, bottom of the deck, is the Queen of Emotions. So this is emotional receptivity, being able to really take those deep dives, but understanding yourself, emotional intelligence, and being caring and compassionate and loving towards ourselves and others, especially through these processes we're going through. We are all energetically being tweaked and zapped and jolted into different areas, and it's very confusing for a lot of people unless you've been on this path for a while and you're like, I get it, I see it. It's still exhausting, it's still emotional. It's nice when you understand, though, when you allow yourself to feel and understand why you're feeling what you're feeling. Wow. Okay, so we're going to just pull a card or whatever wants to come out from the soul's journey to wrap this up for today. This is Mercury and Venus in Libra with the Sun. I knew I wasn't going to talk about astrology, but I mean, the whole underlying message here is all about our relationships and bringing balance back into our relationship. But that requires that we have that balance within ourselves first, because our relationships mirror our relationship to ourselves. If our relationship to ourselves is we're mean to ourselves, we disregard ourselves, that is how we're going to be treated in our relationships with others. It's a mirroring effect. We live under the law of mirrors. That is the law of attraction. The law of mirrors. The mirrors are shining. Here's what you're presenting the universe energetically. Is this how you want to proceed? That's it in a nutshell. And if you want to deeper dive into that, I have a blog on my website all about the 7 Essene mirrors. The Essenes are, they date way back before Christ. And they saw this concept way back then, that we mirror each other. And there are 7 that they were able to narrow down and pinpoint, and it's brilliant. So that is, you can Google it, or it's also on my website if you want to check that out. That's also extremely helpful on the journey here to understand the different mirrors that are being mirrored to us. That's a huge puzzle piece for many. It will help you on your journey a lot. So again, my website is bethechange333.com, and it's in the description box below. The description box is hidden. If you're watching this video, you have to look just below the video screen. On your vision, it would be, I believe, on the left or right. But it's a little upside down carrot, and it's a drop down. Click that, it drops down. It gives all the information to my website, my Patreon, my Facebook. All of that information is in the description box. I still am open for personal readings. Currently, I'm still running a special on my personal readings for the rest of this month. If anybody's interested, you can book that through my website as well. Freedom. Saturn-Uranus square. Still very strong. And we have eclipses coming up. We're in eclipse season, everybody. Freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. I'm going to read it from the book. But happiness comes from within. We can't look to outside. We can't be waiting around for others or the universe to bring us happiness. We need to generate that from ourselves. Ooh, beautiful message. Let's read it from the book. Freedom. Your soul is open to receiving new wisdom and insights that will allow it to make the right choices for its own growth. Remember, you are never a victim of other people or their circumstances. You have complete control over your own choices. By following your heart and being authentic to yourself, you present the real you to the world. Making decisions based on other people's expectations is not the true path to happiness. You are responsible for creating your own reality. When a soul shifts to a place of honoring itself in its totality, free from judgment, only then will it find its true freedom. Every soul is unique and follows its own path. Don't give in to peer pressure or the urge to fit in. You are the only one who truly knows the real you. So feel free to march to the beat of your own drummer. I mean, again, perfectly spells out this reading. So give yourself that freedom to be who you are, flaws and all. We are not always happy, like whatever. And I'm not going to knock the spiritual paradigm either. I am a very spiritual to me means life. Life here on earth is all spiritual. Some of the older paradigms in the spiritual communities have people thinking that if we just raise our vibration, if we just are happy, if we get to a happy place, a happy vibe, everything will be good and nothing bad will happen again. And that is just so false and so untrue. And this time right now, South Node in Scorpio, we are diving deep into our patterns, our habits, our darkness, our shadow work. And we want to do that with love and compassion for ourselves, not shame or guilt that we still have darkness within us or anything, that we can't always be happy and joyful every single day. That's not life. That's not even conducive to the human experience. We have all these senses and all of these emotions for a purpose, for a reason. And they are our navigational system. There is a path to true happiness, true authentic happiness that's not linked to the materialism and consumerism of this world. And that is where the true open heart happiness comes from within. And it comes from connecting. It comes from connecting to yourself, to your higher self, and to others on a soul level. So that is the message for today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'm so grateful for all of you, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Take care.